Aloha, Honolulu! Data here with episode 29 of the Stanley Cup champion Honolulu Huskies Custom Fantasy Draft Franchise Mode. In the last one, it was an absolute nail-biter, winning in Game 7, the final minute of Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals against the New York Rangers to capture our first Stanley Cup in our 10th year in franchise history. There are a lot of comments to get into, so let's hop into it right now. We have a busy off-season with a lot of decisions to come, so let's just jump right into all the comments. First comment, a funny one, LHC boys. I love how you whip out the perfect French for the French names. Hey, you got to keep it authentic, right? I'm happy to always deliver authentic content here. Got to keep people happy. Reese Garut, it's been a long time coming. Feels good to have it. We will party in the streets. Going forward, I think Sweeney has earned the starting spot. We're going to get into that, but I do believe so. MVL1 2K7, the coaching change made a lot of a difference. Yeah, that's very true. Damian Anthony's been a great coach. A lot of... what am I saying, Damian Palmieri has been a great coach. Damian Anthony is our hockey player. A lot of offense, more balanced also, and good defense. Louis Malard says, congrats for the cup. What a ride this was, but let's get down to business. Seeing Damian Anthony going to a potential boost, he went from medium elite to low franchise, opens a lot of doors. Not fun to say, but maybe it's time for Mikko or Eli to leave their place for the future up to somebody else. Same goes for Ty Smith. You have a huge pool of prospects to fill the holes. Trade Samsonov to a team that needs a starting goalie. Fair enough at the draft. Jacob59 says, if you need to free up cap space, you should consider moving players from the third forward line and replace them with cheaper, more defensive players. That's interesting, but to be honest, my current third liners are not costing me a lot. Genze costs 1.5. Damian Anthony's on an entry-level deal. Cole Perfetti costs 4.7, but he's a monster. Maybe it's the fourth liners. Oleg Kennan's making $2 million that I would want to go for a cheaper option. You don't need to have offensive players on the third line because of how much firepower is in the top six. That's also fair. Good luck. Go Huskies. And the last comment coming from Yirka Halby. Wow, what a nail-biter. Congrats, Bello. Well deserved. Thank you very much, my friend. Time to let go of Pete, Cooper Pete, the goalie prospect. In the draft, I would trade Smith and a first to draft Sutter, offensive defenseman, top 4. He's projected to go at number 25. We pick at, what 31? So that's what he's talking about. It's going to be so hard this offseason. I'm more than unsure of what I would do in your position. Good luck to that, and congrats one more time. Thank you, Yirka. So let's hop into this offseason, my friends. As we were talking about, the draft has us picking at 31, I believe, but the pick that I would like to move up for is, he's definitely a project. It says he's 4 or 5 years away. This guy, this defenseman, medium elite, Isaac Sutter from the Winnipeg Ice in the WHL. Offensive defenseman, our scouts have him ranked 20. He's ranked to go 26. And he is similar to Nick Leddy, 4 years away. But our pick at 31, it wouldn't be bad. I would probably get this guy low elite, Bernard Labrie. But I'd be down to just trade up for Sutter, who has the better potential and all that good stuff. So it's going to be a good draft, I think. There's a lot of good gems late that I'm going to be moving for. It's a weird first round here. Will O'Reilly, a Polish defenseman, is going to go second overall, high top 4D. And then an Italian named Christian Cheval-Dave is going to be going 7th overall. He's playing in the NLA in Switzerland, makes sense, but yeah, that's a really terrible name for an Italian. I hate when they don't make it authentic. Brent Seabrook has regenerated himself, and he is back in the NHL. He's going to be drafted a top first-round defenseman, so good for you. Is this Troy Brower? Okay, Tate Brower. So let's hop into it without further ado. We're looking to trade the rights of maybe Ilya Samsonov, Ty Smith, because we know that we can't re-sign them. But aside from that, it is really up in the air concerning Mikko Rantanen, Eli Tolvanen, and to be totally honest, my current plan is to wait until after the offseason. I will, if I have to make a trade, it'll be this episode, but it's going to be after the offseason, because I need to see if Damian Anthony grows to like an 88 overall, he will force his way into the top 6, and I'll have to make a trade. So we'll figure that out later, though. For now is the 2029 NHL entry draft. Let's hop straight into it. The Calgary Flames want to trade their pick. Oh, wow. Maybe I use all my trade value and trade for that. Oh boy, it'll be a Gustavo Puchor. Gustavo, a center sniper from the Vancouver Giants. It makes me think of John Tavares. Similar to Bobby Hull, NHL ready. See, the thing is, I don't really need a centerman. I already have my top 3 centers set for like the next 10 years. Well, maybe the next 5 years at least. with Silver, Wong, and Perfetti. So Gustavo Pushor, I wouldn't really have room for him. He would be my fourth line center, and sounds like he's going to be an 83 overall kind of guy, pushing his way into the top 9 right away. Maybe I play him on the wing of the third line, trade Sebastian Genze. I don't know. But it is crazy that they're wanting to trade that pick. I just don't really know if this would be a good fit for him, and I already have my centers locked up long term, so I'll let Calgary go ahead and get him. Calgary, you're lucky I don't expose you for wanting to trade your pick. And Gustavo is 83 overall, medium elite sniper. So yeah, with 80 faceoffs, 5-star shooting, he'd be a great asset to anybody, but he's already a third liner with 80 faceoffs as well. He definitely is a centerman. He can't play the wing. You can't put him on the wing when he has that good face-off, so we're going to pass on that. But that would have been a nice pickup. I just don't think it would have been right for us because we would have had too many good centermen, especially Cole Perfetti. He's playing the best of his career. He signed for 7 years at $4.7 million. It wouldn't make sense to move that. Will O'Reilly, a high top 4D, 71 overall, goes next. I don't know how this guy is rated so highly, but who's the next pick here to St. Louis? See, that doesn't make sense. An 83 overall medium elite sniper with 5-star shooting, 92s, 93s, everything. He is drafted after this guy, Will O'Reilly, high top 4. Zykov, what a steal for the Blues. Kincaid, the Senators want to trade their pick. It was Turris, a medium elite 2-way D. I have enough defense in my system, that's for sure, for guys who are ready for the NHL at least. I don't need guys who are coming in next season. I want guys who are going to be good down the road. The Italian was a medium top 6, 64 overall. Vegetti, what? Who's this guy? Amrit Vegetti, 80 overall, medium elite 2-way D. So he's already a top 6 defenseman. I don't have room for guys who are already top 6. That's why I want to trade for my guy who's going to be ready 4 years down the road. So it's around pick number 25. The Leafs do want to trade their pick at 23, so I'll probably make that deal since it'll be easier to pick up a pick that a team wants to trade away. Do they have a starting goalie? Because I could give Toronto Ilya Samsonov, a team in the Eastern Conference. I don't need to see too much. No, they don't even have a starter, really. Natalie Jokovic. So maybe I could trade Ilya Samsonov there. Well, it's his rights, so no guarantee that he even signs. So Ilya Samsonov can go to the Leafs along with maybe my pick. So I could trade pick 31 and the rights to Ilya Samsonov to Toronto. Trade rejected. Yeah, it's not much value that Ilya Samsonov adds, unfortunately. Does Ty Smith add much value? They can't sign all these guys. I don't want to make Toronto overpowered, but I don't think they can sign everyone just because I trade them their rights. No, they'd be over the salary cap, even though the salary cap shouldn't even be applicable. I could just throw in some prospects here. Someone who I'm not going to sign or not going to use. Savatsky, I took a chance on him, Chance Savatsky, but 68 overall, 24 years old, time to cut ties with him, I think. And then maybe throw in a 6th round pick in a couple of years. Perfect, trade accepted. Thank you very much, Toronto. Ilya Samsonov, if you get signed by the Toronto Maple Leafs, I wish you all the best. Not a Leafs fan, but they are in the Eastern Conference, so they are out of my hair. So hopefully that works out for you. It's a bit of a reach, taking this guy at 23 when he was slated to go at 26, but who knows? He's the next highest defenseman, so a team could take him in the next couple picks. So I'm just going to go ahead and take him from the Winnipeg Ice. The Honolulu Huskies are proud to select Isaac Sutter. He is 61 overall, medium elite offensive defenseman. Not bad. Usually guys who are 4 years away could be in the 40s or 50s overall. So 61 overall. He's definitely a project. He won't be ready for a few years, but he will be great down the road, and I'm excited to have him in the system. So now I'll go ahead and sim to my pick from the Flyers, pick number 34 in this draft, early in the 2nd round. There are definitely some decent guys. I don't want to take a risk on someone I don't know enough about. Maybe I would take Jackson Corazzini, low elite sniper. He looks like a pretty decent pick, 3 years away. Could also take Alex Brooks, a centerman, 2-way forward. I don't know, Brett Cracknell's an offensive defenseman, but I don't need another one of those. I think I'll just go ahead and take the guy who's low elite. Seems like a pretty decent pick. He's slated to go at 39, so I could trade down a couple picks. Is there... Yeah, you know what? Let's trade to the Coyotes here. See if they can give me pick 37 for pick 34 and they can throw in something else late, because there's some pretty good late picks that I wouldn't mind picking up later on. You want to throw in 142? Thank you very much. So I get an extra 5th round pick, and then I can go pick up my guy here. It was medium top 6D, medium top 9 forward, medium top 9 forward. Yikes. So we'll go ahead and take Jackson Corazzini from the Guelph Storm. He had pretty decent stats. Why not? 17 years old. He'll be a project. And he is low elite, 63 overall with 2.5 star shooting. Not too shabby for a guy who is a project. So our next pick is at pick number 55. And at 55, is there anyone before then who I'd like to get? There are definitely some good people, but do I want to trade up for them? I don't think so. I think I'm okay with going to 55, and I'll probably get this, maybe one of these. Well, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Let's go to pick 55. There were, yikes, a lot of misses. This guy's low elite. Yikes. So Hugo Savard, defensive defenseman? I don't think so. I think it's between these two guys here, these two low elite defensemen. They're both defensive defensemen. This guy's a gem. I think it has to be him. Matthias Carlson. He is similar to Zdeno Chara, 3 years away. Yeah, let's just go for him. He's also a gem, like I said, so let's do it. From Färjestad BK in the SHL, welcome Matthias Carlson. He is 63 overall, low top 4D, defensive defenseman. Looking forward to having him as a top pair in San Diego in a couple years. Who knows if he'll make it. But going to pick number 62 now, not far away. At the end of round number 2, this is our own pick. Matthew Paxpu, a Hungarian defender with 2 bars medium elite. Not super sold on this pick. I think I'm going to pass on it. Yeah, I'm going to pass on it and just go to my next pick. So I'm going to trade with, who was the worst team in the league this year? Was the Oilers? No, I don't think it was the Oilers. Penguins, Coyotes. Who was the worst team in the league? I guess it was the Oilers. I'm going to try to make a trade with the Oilers and get their second round pick next season. Come on, time's running out here, boys. Trade rejected. Just a third straight up. Still rejected. Okay, forget it, Edmonton. Goodbye. Let's go with a trade finder instead. Who's going to give me a good offer for the second round pick? I just want picks back. Noah Hannafin. Come on. The rights to him. Third and a fourth next season. Okay, that's something decent. Third and a fourth. 2/3 this year. Okay, that's interesting. With Nicolas Baudin. 2/3 from the Canucks next season. I think that 2/3 from the Canucks next season is going to be the deal that I'm going to take. With Dominic Kubalik. We'll take 2/3 from the Canucks next year. Thank you very much, Vancouver. A second right now for 2/3 in next year's draft. Perfect. So let's see who the Canucks take with that pick. It was a low top 6 power forward. Not a bad pick, just not really what I was comfortable doing because I didn't know enough about those guys. So let's go to pick number 66 now. There's a lot of guys around here at pick 66. A lot of decent guys have gone. Medium top 4D, Paxpu, the guy that I was looking at. So pick 66 now. Antoine Bonnet, Matthew Rogers, a grinder. Bah, I guess, a center grinder is not bad. My future fourth line center, perhaps. Medium top 6D. Then my next pick would be somewhere around in the 80s. So yeah, you know what? I think I will take that Matthew Rogers here. Not strong hands, 3 years away. Let's see what he can do. Hopefully my next fourth line center, he is medium top 9, 62 overall grinder. Not the worst. Hopefully he can continue to grow for a 66 overall pick. Sim to pick number 93 now. Now this is where there were some good picks, I believe. There were some decent guys around this area. So let's see who we can get at 93. Boy, no one. Where did everybody go? I think the stars are a lie. The stars tell you there's going to be all these guys, but they really go a lot earlier. Oh yeah, here's all the guys that I was looking at. All these low top 6 forwards. They went at 23, low top 4D. Those guys went to 22, 23, 24, 25. Boys, I'm picking at 31 over here. The scouts are clueless. They thought I was picking in the 80s. Come on. Could get Leonardo Party, a left wing, possibly a grinder, another fourth line future. Boff. No one's really tempting me here. Low elite, man. These guys are low top 6. I could reach a little bit for low top 6s. Power forward. This guy's guaranteed a grinder. Alexander Radulov, his son, Alexander Radulov Jr., 5 years away. Low top 6 grinder. This guy's ranked 97 according to our scouts. Nikita Tulipov. Maybe he's our future fourth line center. Power forward, 6'5". This guy's playing in an A+ league. No points in 11 games. This guy no points in 26 games. This is a tough one. Do I want Radulov on the wing or do I want Tulipov at center? Well, let's trust the scouts. Go with Tulipov. Welcome to the team, buddy. He is 58 overall, low top 9. I'm pretty sure I could actually get my other guy. Yeah, I didn't know I was picking so quick. So I'll go ahead and take Radulov as well. There he is. He is, what, is that Latvian? That's the flag of Latvia? Low top 9, 57 overall grinder. Okay, so now I think it's time to start taking people that I want. We're simming all the way to pick number 142, and now we will begin to pick the people that I want to pick. Look at the people who I have pinned, who's still left. Still a couple guys. Okay, they're still pretty far away. So it's time to sort by potential and take guys who I want to take chances on, not people who look like garbage, low top 9s and all that stuff. So there's definitely low elites that are still available. Guaranteed low elites. If I want to go into the top 6 category, this guy's at 186, Roberto Di Salvatore. No, how come it told me that? He's down here. Roberto Di Salvatore. Rodrigo Spiller, a power forward in the OHL. Terrible competition. 51 points in 65 games, though. And Terrell Bass, Polish Extraliga player. Rodrigo Spiller. What do you got for me, Bello? Let's see here. A power forward. Oh, my goodness. Oh my goodness, bottom 6. Okay, you know what? Let's just take the guys, not even the guys who have potential, just the guys I want. Matteo Fischer, 2 bars medium elite. I really have a lot of defense from the Thomas Sabo Ice Tigers. There's also Frank Reifers. I don't need another goalie prospect, even though he's 2 bars medium elite. It's not enough for me. Where's the guys that I've pinned again? 155 I'm picking at? I'll guaranteed still get them. Okay, let's do it, Fisher. Let's do it. You convinced me. But if you're a low top 6D, it's not going to be pretty for you. Medium 7th D, even worse. Great job. Oh, wait. Oh, I'm a degenerate. I simmed all the way to the last pick of the draft. Oh, they're both still here. Oh, thank goodness. But I only get one more pick. Oh, man, I am really a degenerate. I thought I had more late picks. I can't believe I wasted on that German guy who had 2 bars medium elite. He was garbage in the end. Do I take Zachariah Zeiler or Cyrus Correa? Now, that's a cool name. This guy, do I want the low elite sniper or the low elite 2-way D? He's a gem, but he's a 2-way D. I don't need 2-way D. I'd rather take Cyrus Correa. He's going to be a project, but let's do it. That's a really cool name, and he is low elite. I think that was like 50 overall. So it was an okay draft. I thought it was going to be a lot better. I scouted literally 500 players, and I thought it was going to be better than that. I guess I didn't execute everything to the best of my ability. I like Sutter, I like Corazini, I like Correa. Carlson was good as well, but Rogers was decent, but Tulipov, Radulov, Spiller, and Fisher were all letdowns. So could have been a better draft, but we have a really deep prospect pool, so it's not the end of the world to not get all slam dunks. Maximilian Kress needs to be re-signed, our associate coach, so I'm going to take care of the coaches here. Kress is good, so if he wants to continue being my associate, that would be great. Damian Palmieri had a great season. Look at that record for him. 125, 30, and 9. 64% team fit now. So I'm going to go ahead and, oh my goodness. I'm going to go ahead and re-sign all these scouts, re-sign that coach if he wants, and then we'll check out the contract re-sign phase. Alright, so here we are in the re-sign phase. I did get to trade the rights of Ilya Samsonov, but I did not get to trade the rights of Ty Smith. I should have just gone to Trade Finder. I had not thought of that, so I'm disappointed in myself for forgetting that, but I need to release him. Ty Smith, thank you for your 2 seasons here in Honolulu. You were a great addition, and you won a Stanley Cup here. You had a couple of really good seasons plus-minus wise, that's for sure. He was a plus like 81 in those seasons, so thank you for all your hard work, and we will have to say goodbye to you. Good luck in free agency. We have $7.43 million of cap space, so let's just quickly get all this done. Kennins, I'm probably going to have to let go. I'll send an offer to Kennins, Engren, Ratcliffe, and Berggren. All of them don't want extensions, so we'll see if they want. If they do, it's unlikely. Shore, I'm going to let go. Wood, I'm going to try to resign. Pilstrom, yes. Kovacs, let go. Apostolopoulos, let him go. All these unsigned guys, except for Kabanov, I think I'm going to sign. I'll probably just let him go. RFAs, I'm going to qualify all of these guys since none of them want to sign, and unsigned, there's no one to do there. Now for the goalies, Sweeney's my starter, McClellan's probably my backup, then it goes Bentley, and then probably Beck. So I'll sign Beck. I'm going to be looking to trade Pete, of course. Sweeney does not want the extension, so I'm probably just going to qualify him. and then I'll re-sign him during free agency. He does want, if I go long term, it's around 9 million. I could give him 6 years, around 7-ish. So we'll see what I can do there, but I will take care of all that. So advancing a day now, Kress says he doesn't feel like it's the appropriate skill set. I'll probably have to let him go. He was our head coach in our first couple seasons. He's been our associate coach ever since. He's been with the franchise for 10 years, but he doesn't want to be an associate coach anymore because he is A- overall. I'm pretty sure we got him when he was C or C- overall. So he has definitely grown, and he wants to be an NHL head coach. So understandable. Same this what? Come on, you're D-rated, my goalie coach. I have to throw millions of dollars at these people. Ratcliffe says no. Goddard, Wood, hold on. I didn't read that. He didn't want it though for some reason. Berggren, Morozov. Okay, you know what? Just let's fly through all of these. And then we see who's left over. That's a lot. That's a way easier way to figure this out. So Wood did say he wanted. There was something probably about the depth. There's probably there's too many people in my position. All I got to do is offer them the max 2-way deal. Now Kennens does not want the extension. I'm not really comfortable with dedicating 2.5 or 2.3 million dollars to a fourth line winger. Although he's great defensively and he's been a big piece of this team for a couple seasons, like especially last season, 20 points in 67 games. And in the playoffs, 4 points in 23 with a +5. He got his Stanley Cup here, but I think I'm going to have to let him go. Oleg, thank you for the laughs. Thank you for the journey. Yerky did not want to sign either, but I really want to get him. We've had him for a while. He's Yerka's brother. We got to keep it in the family. So I'm going to try offering him 1.1. He's low elite. We drafted him in the 5th round in 2023. He's had good numbers in San Diego. He has good stats. So if he wants to sign, I'd be happy to have him. Isaac Ratcliffe, I would really like to have him as our fourth line center. I tried offering him 1.8. For a fourth line center, I'm okay giving the 2 million. For a winger, not as much because it's a bit harder to find a good centerman for the fourth line. But I wouldn't offer more than 2 million to Ratcliffe. Berggren, he didn't want 1.5. I wouldn't go more than 1.7. I don't think. He's a good fourth liner, but I think I could find other ones. RFAs, I'm just going to qualify them all. Advance a day, more scouts sign on. Duke Silver's going to need a new contract next year, by the way. Currently making 11 million. He's going to be an expensive sign. Ratcliffe's going to go to free agency. Kyle Wood's on board. Berggren's going to go to free agency. Engren's going to go to free agency. All right, so Yerky, I would have liked to have you. To be honest, would he fit? If I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, Engren would probably be the next in line. If he signed on, he would have a guaranteed top 6 role. But because he doesn't want to sign on, it looks like that role is going to go to Landon Alberts here. So Yerky, come on. I'm extending an olive branch to you here. I'll give you 1.250, but that's going to be my final offer. The rest of my UFAs here, it looks like they're going to free agency, Ratcliffe and Berggren. So thank you for the memories here, boys. You were big pieces for the fourth line depth. And let's advance another day now. Come on, Yerky. See you later. I tried, Yerky. So I'm going to let him go. Sweeney is qualified. Let's go into free agency. So Maximilian Kress is no longer with us. He's not going to want to sign on as an associate coach because he wants to go be a head coach. It's understandable. So good luck to Maximilian. He's been here for all 10 years. We got him his Stanley Cup ring as an associate. Now it's time for free agency. So let's go reassess what we need, our cap, our situation, and all that good stuff. Duke Silver, how much is he going to want next season? 12.775. My goodness, that's the cheapest it gets. And 85% of that is 10.85. So maybe I could get him even on a cheaper deal. Maybe I could get him at 10.875. 8 years at 10.875. If I could get him signed to that, I would do it right now, because it's not going to get cheaper than that. 8 years at 10.875, he'll be making 0.125 less than he's making now, continuing as a 96 overall franchise first-line center, one of the best players in the NHL. Yeah, I'm down. So if he wants to do that, that's cool. If not, we'll continue working on it. But anyways, looking at main roster, centers. So centers, we go 1, 2, 3. Fourth line center could be Kozevnikov, who was a third-round pick in 2025. He's not really good at faceoffs, though. That's the problem. He has the medium league potential. He has a lot of trade value. Maybe he'd be more of a winger. Besides that, we don't really have anyone in the system who could be our fourth line center. That could be something that we go after. Left wings, 1, 2, 3. Could use a left winger for the fourth line, and then 1, 2, 3. Maybe Bennington comes down to the fourth line, depth forward, playmaker. maybe he's our fourth line winger, but we could definitely use a fourth line center, a fourth line left wing, and it's going to really depend on Damian Anthony here. What kind of contract is he going to get signed to? As well, there is Gale Redden, who could play fourth line right wing. He didn't really play much last season. He was a depth guy, 6 points in 21 games. I'm kind of down to just trade Gale Redden. He has 4-star shooting, 4-star defense, 4-star puck skills. He just never really gelled with the team. Serge Vieilleux as well. He's a sniper. He has 4.5-star shooting. I really want to get him in the NHL this season. If I could get him, but I don't know where he'd go. 'Cause it's tough putting snipers on the fourth line when they don't really fit there. Heiskanen even could fit. Carson Bruce, I want him to get to the NHL. He just won't grow. 33rd overall pick 6 years ago. He's 23 years old now. But anyways, for defense, we go 1, 2, 3 guaranteed. Then 4, 5. 6 is either Landon Alberts or Kyle Wood, if he could even make the team outright, but we'll figure that out. And goalies is going to be Sweeney and McClellan most likely. So defense seems pretty decided. We have to figure out what we're going to do in free agency here, because like I said earlier, I wanted to wait until the beginning of the season to trade someone like Rantanen or Tolvanen or whatever if I had to free up the space. But looking now at the RFAs, I might not have that luxury. I may have to make that deal as soon as possible because Sweeney needs to get signed, and he doesn't want a lot, so he can get offer sheeted right away. I need to get him locked up ASAP. So something like 6 years, $7 million is very likely. Meanwhile, that leaves me with $0.2 million to go sign Giftopoulos and Junior, which is not what I want to do. So that kind of is a bit of a problem. I need to make that trade right now, it seems like. Just in general, there are some good players out here. Matthias Johansson, 89 overall, 25 years old, medium elite defensive defenseman. Boy, there are some good players out here. What about for forwards? UFA forwards. Derek Mongo is here, Dylan Strome, Kiefer Bellows, Lundell, Tuck, Bracco, of course. So only $7.2 million. That is tough, because if I traded Quinn Hughes and freed up $7 million, then what would I be doing with the second pair defense? I don't know. It's really someone in the top 6 that has to go. And according to Cap, it's Silver, Tolvanen, Pittis, Pelech, Rantanen, and then it goes down from there. So it has to be one of those players. I'm not trading Pelech, I'm not trading Pittis. It's pretty much down to Eli Tolvanen and Mikko Rantanen. Do I trade Tolvanen, making 10.7, 30 years old, 91 overall, or the captain, Mikko Rantanen, making 8.8? I think I know who it has to be. I just got to find the right trade. So once I figure it out, we'll make the move. Eli Tolvanen, boys. Eli Tolvanen. 2 years left at 10.7. 30 years old. We can't keep him anymore. He fits this team perfectly. He has been a huge piece. He was on the trade block. We had to pick him up from the New York Islanders. Was he on the block? I don't even remember. I don't think he was, actually. I know he's on the block when we got him in our last franchise mode. But anyways, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 full seasons in Honolulu. 80, 96, 82, 83, 77 points. He's never scored less than 23 goals, never gotten less than 47 assists, never got less than 77 points. He's always been a great first liner, more of a playmaker than a sniper. That's why we turned him into one. He scored 25 points on our cup run. He is a Stanley Cup champion, but I cannot keep him on this team anymore. I love Eli Tolvanen. I think he's one of the best of all time, especially in franchise mode. But in this franchise mode, we have great players like Silver, Rantanen, Pelech, Pittis. We don't necessarily need Eli Tolvanen any longer. So here's something I could do. I could trade Tolvanen with Quinn Hughes to the Sabres for Markku Kerman at 50% salary retention. He's going to be making around $5.3 million. 94 overall, 25 years old, medium franchise. I have him for 3 more seasons at $5 million. He's coming off a 70-point season. He has 351 points in 511 career games. He is a pure monster who would be racking up the points. However, do I really want to put a 94 overall medium franchise offensive defenseman on my second pair defense where Quinn Quinn Hughes would be playing. Already it's kind of crazy that 90 overall Quinn Hughes is there, and we have him pretty cheap as well. He doesn't really fit the lines totally, but that's already a bit crazy. Do I want to put Markku Kerman there? I'd give Buffalo 2 elite players, they give me their best player, and I take back 3 first-round picks, because I tried it with 4, it said it was too far off. So do I want 3 first-round picks and a 94 overall medium franchise defenseman at $5.3 million? Or do I go to Toronto and get a 90 overall defensive defenseman and pair him with Quinn Hughes? However, that means that Giftopoulos and Jr. would be third pair defense. Do I want to do that? I think that makes a bit more sense. In like a fantasy world, Kerman would be a cool move, but I think I'd rather keep Quinn Hughes, trade Tolvanen to the Toronto Maple Leafs, and go pick up this defenseman right here, Jocelyn. They already have great defense. They could spare giving me somebody here. Jay Jocelyn, medium elite, 23 years old, 6'5", defensive defenseman. He has 6 years at $10 million. I'd get him at a reduced price. If I get them to keep 50% of the salary, that would be great. He's only going to cost me $5 million, so that'll free up a lot of salary space. That will leave me with a total of 12.993, so about $13 million. So that's enough to sign Sweeney, Giftopoulos, and Jr. So that's the tough part. If I just offered this straight up, I don't think they'd do it. They would, but not for the salary cap that we are offering. Do I give them Cooper Pete in the deal to make it a little bit sweeter? Did they sign Ilya Samsonov? They did. Ilya Samsonov got signed to 3 years, $8.195 million. Not a lot of trade value for Ilya. So I could trade them Cooper Pete, medium elite, 74 overall. I'd be setting them up for a while. I gave them Tolvanen, Samsonov, and Pete, and they're giving me Jocelyn, a couple of first-round picks. I think this is a pretty good deal for the Maple Leafs. They're already champion status. I'll just keep on getting better. We'll definitely see them probably Eastern Conference in the Cup Finals if we make it there. What do you say to this, Toronto? They don't want to do it for 2 firsts. Maybe I could throw in this guy, John Gibbons, who I drafted in 2028. Remember him last season? He was a medium elite gem that we drafted. I don't know if he's a gem, but I know he's medium elite. We got him. He's 21 years old, 5'9" center, bad face-offs, 60 overall, 21 years old. I don't think he's going to grow much. Maybe he'll make the NHL if he's lucky, but if I could just trade him just to get the trade value pushed over, I would not be opposed to doing that. So he has more value than Cooper Pete, I believe, so maybe that pushes it over, and we can get a couple of second-round picks now. What do you say, Toronto? Trade rejected still. Boy, I'm giving them so much value. Look at the trade value here. That's what happens when you're on hard trade difficulty. Look at the value. I really, I'm already overpaying. I have to be overpaying to get this done. Look at the value that Cooper Pete adds to it. We're almost tripling the value now. Even with a first and 3/3, no, they don't want to do it. Final offer, first and a third, no. All right, so it's not going to happen. We're not going to be able to get Jocelyn. Now, here's an interesting deal. How about Jake Chikrin? If I get him 50% retained for the next 6 years, he's only going to be costing me like, hold on, 6.5 minus 3.2, that's going to be costing me not even 3.3 million. So if I get Jake Chikrin, that's going to be costing me $3.27 million for the next 6 years. For an 87 overall guy, I can turn into a defensive defenseman. He has 5-star physical, 4.5-star defense, only 3.5-star shooting. So it makes sense to turn 6'3" Chikrin into a defensive defenseman. He can play with with Quinn Hughes up on the second pair. I give them Tolvanen. They want him. This makes more sense, perhaps. There's Oscar Janssen, who we traded there, 89 overall, 23 years old now. He has only two years left at $9 million. I would get him. I would try to get him, but he is really a two-way D. I want someone who I could turn into a defensive defenseman, because then if I play him with Quinn Hughes, hopefully I can give it a +3 on that pair. So could I throw in 2 second-round picks to make this happen? No. Just a second-round pick? No. Really? Might have to be straight up because of that salary retention. So Eli Tolvanen, are you going to the Carolina Hurricanes? The deal would work, but they don't want to do that. So now is the time where I can throw in Cooper Pete, who they do want, by the way. They have no goalies in their system. Yikes. So Cooper Pete does make sense for them to take on. Do they have any good rookie skaters I could take back? Not really anyone of much interest. No, nobody that I want, but I'll just take some draft picks. So this year they'll be really good. I'm surprised that what are they listed as? They're listed as a rebuilder. Really? rebuild it. Didn't they have a good season? So if I could get, they're going to have Eli Tolvanen for another couple of years. Can I get a first-round pick down the road like this, which has less value? How about those 2 first-round picks, 2032 and 2033? What do you say to that, Carolina? No, they still don't want it. Just 2032. Still trade rejected. 2032 second and third, 2033 second and third. How about this? You really got to pull these strings. Take out the third. On the surface, this looks good, but we don't want to do it. 2 seconds. Okay, 1 second-round pick. What? You're a rebuilding team. I'm giving you a first line star and your future starter. I'm giving you everything you need just for a guy who's 31 who's not going to help you if you're a rebuilding team. I would really want to just wait to see if guys like Giftopoulos grow. But I need to trade these guys now so I can sign them. Because if not, they're going to get offer sheeted. Maybe I could risk it. Maybe guys like Giftopoulos who want $5 million won't get offer sheeted. I don't know. I guess I'm going to have to risk it. If they get offer sheeted, I'll be forced to make a move. But if not, I'm not going to make a trade until later. I'm going to go sign Lee Sweeney, but I'm going to leave Junior and Giftopoulos to the Wolves, and hopefully they don't get signed. If they do, I'll figure it out from there. But I'm going to go sign Lee Sweeney. Lee Sweeney, I have $7.28 million in my bank here. I could offer you 6 years. I could offer you 7 years at $7 million. I don't think that's going to go because you want 8.5. I will try to offer you 6 years at, oh boy, let's try 6 years at 6.650. That's pretty fair for Lee Sweeney. That'll bring him to the age of 30. 6 years at 6.650. I still need a 4th line center, remember? I still do have $1 million to spare or so. But like I said, I might have to wait to see growth because I don't think I can devote like any money at all to anybody at all, even if it's someone down here at like an 80 overall, such as this guy Skylar McKenzie, 80 overall playmaker. It's still close to $2 million. I get Ryan Poehling for under $1 million. Yeah, why does Lucas Wallmark want $3.025 million? That makes no sense. Are there any guys who's the best two-way guy? Ryan Poehling's the best two-way guy. I could sign him to a two-way deal. He has 80 face-offs, two-way forward. I could turn him to... He could be a grinder. He's a big boy. Ryan Poehling. Let me try to sign him. Two-way deal could happen. That won't count to the cap. 1 year, two-way. I'll offer that. But without further ado, let's begin simulating in the next season. We still have a lot left to go. We have to figure out trades, a new associate coach. There's a lot to figure out. So you know what? I'll even put Eli Tolvanen on the trade block here, along with even Pete and Gibbons. There you go. Ryan Poehling's on board. Great. He could be our 4th line center. Lee Sweeney. I was quite clear in what I was looking for with regards to my contract duration. That doesn't really make sense. I'm offering you being my long-term starter, but you wanted a 1-year deal. Why would you want a 1-year deal when I'm offering you long-term stability as a starter on a Stanley Cup champion team? So Lee Sweeney, if I go back to him here, yeah, he wants 1 year, 0.825. So actually, if he really wants that, he'll still be an RFA next season. He could be a super cheap, you know what, maybe even 2 years. He's going to cost me more long term. Like I could get him 6 years, $7 million right now, or I go 2 years at 0.9, and then down the road, I have to sign him to a bigger contract. But that could be my blessing in disguise right there, because then that saves me a lot of money to get Giftopoulos. Duke Silver, okay, he signed that extension. That's big as well, because then I can get Giftopoulos and Junior signed as well, and I still have money left over. Sweeney, okay, 2 years at 0.9 for my starting goalie. That makes no sense, but thank you very much, Lee. Now if I go to my contracts, okay, if I just go to my RFAs, I still have 7.28 million, it says, because that's a really, it doesn't even really count for the cap. So Junior wants 2 years at 2.6. I could offer him 2 years at maybe 2.225. Let's try that. 2 years at 2.225. And Giftopoulos, who hopefully is going to grow, he wants way too much right now, so I'll have to wait on him. Gail Redden, I don't know what's going to happen with him. I'll offer him that 1 year deal. And Vieilleux is 24 years old now. He wants to start making money. I don't know if he's going to make the NHL next year, but I'll give him that contract. Landon Alberts as well. Could I give him... I could give him 3 years and he'll stay as an RFA. So I wouldn't mind giving him that. Okay, things are starting to look up here. I was about to trade Tolvanen. I still might have to trade Tolvanen if there's no room for him. But let's continue moving here. Brock Besser, a third and a fifth. Edmonton for a goalie prospect, a first and a second. Okay. Gail Redden's on board. Junior does not like the consideration range. Vieilleux, Alberts both accept. So you know what? I'm gonna sim to like another month, and in August I'll revisit Junior and Giftopoulos' contract demands, see if they've gone down a little bit. Okay, so Junior did get offer sheeted, 2 years at 2.9. I'm happy to match that. Well, I'm not super happy. I would have liked a little bit cheaper, but I'm not going to give him up to Detroit for just a second-round pick, so I will match that. And let's see if Giftopoulos' demands have gone down a little bit. Maybe I should have gone a little less, just to August 3rd instead of August 10th. But whatever, Junior, we got him signed up. Malachi Giftopoulos. Now he wants $3 million, exactly. I wasn't going to sign you for that type of money. Other RFAs who are here, McLeod, this guy, Jerry McLeod, 86 overall sniper. Boy, only wants 6.8, but Malachi Giftopoulos, 1 year, $3 million. Starts to go up a little bit after that. I could give him 2 years, keep him as an RFA. I give him 2 years, 3.5. That's still pushing it. That's like, I'm only giving him that because I'm expecting him to grow into a top 4 D by next season. But if he wants more than that, I'm going to have to wait him out again. Let's go, Malachi. Yeah, I believe this signing will be good for myself and the franchise, period. Yeah, get yourself in the gym and start working. My goodness, the disrespect that I've gotten from you. I've been getting some interesting trade offers over here, including like Bowen Byram from the Capitals. He has 2 years left at $6 million, which would be an interesting piece to look at. But like I said, we got to figure out our lineup first, see what the growth is. So we're about to reach that point. I'm going to hop into the lines, fix everything, do all the roster moves, see what we are looking like, and then the decisions will come. All right, so here's the sitch, boys and girls. First line, Tolvanen, Silver, Pelech, who for some reason has dropped to 91 overall from 93, despite him having the highest possible potential of high franchise, but whatever. Second line, Rantanen, Wong, Pittis, like always. Third line, Genze, Perfetti, Damian Anthony. Now, Damian Anthony, although he's listed as a second line forward, low franchise, 85 overall. Now, he's definitely going to grow during the season, but do I want to prematurely already put him in the top 6? Let's say maybe Mikko Rantanen moves to the first line. I could change Rantanen to a playmaker. It'll be like a +3 and a +1. I don't really know if this really works super well. Damian Anthony's not really built for the second line. He's more built for the first line, actually. But I don't know. Like, I'd rather keep Tolvanen for one last season. This is guaranteed his last season. Next year he'll be on an expiring deal. So this year would be his last. I know I made a case to trade him, and that case is still valid, but it may be for next season. Fourth line right now, Dmitry Kozevnikov. He is a fourth line forward center, but he has 65 faceoffs. I'm going to turn him into a winger. He's a two-way forward, and then Ryan Palin's going to be the real center on that line. He has 80 faceoffs and all that. But he's only going to be the fourth liner. I don't see him getting any power play time or anything, really. And then Serge Vieilleux, he is really... I don't want to bury him in the minors anymore. He has the shooting category. He has the skating. He could play in the NHL. So I'd like to play him fourth line. I know this fourth line is not very defensive. I could go all grinders and get a +3, but the ice time allocation of my coach is roll 3 lines. These guys don't play much. I'm going to try this fourth line out and hopefully it doesn't get destroyed defensively. But speaking of defense, Lindback and Anderson get the +5 like always, but Hughes and Giftopoulos is a -1. Even if I change Giftopoulos into a defensive defenseman, his line fit is not, he doesn't fit the line, negative and an X. And to be totally honest, I'm not sold on Malachi Giftopoulos. He's 5'11" with 2.5 star skating, which doesn't really make sense. He's not a good shooter, he's not a good hitter, he's not a good skater. His defense is good at 4 stars, but I'm not sold on Malachi Giftopoulos. I wanted him to become great. He's 24 years old, he's only 82, he's taking up a lot of money, and his potential continues to drop. I would rather trade Malachi Giftopoulos for a good second pair D Alberts and Junior can play together on the third pair. I have Sweeney up to 84 now. McClellan's at 80. He can back him up. Gale Redden and Kyle Wood are my depth for forwards and defense respectively. I'd rather trade Giftopoulos for a better second pair D, like I said, and for someone to help out in the defense. I have only 4 defensemen in the AHL, so I'd rather get some defense as well. So I'd rather trade for some defense prospects, and I think Giftopoulos may be the one to go to make all of that work. I really wanted him to work out here, but I don't know. He just hasn't really been a great fit. He had 2 years in San Diego. He had 1 year in the NHL. He was good with a plus 28 and 14 points, but he doesn't fit the line on the second pair, and that's a big problem in this NHL, especially with the coaching and the line fit and all that. So I think if I find the right deal, Giftopoulos would be the one to go. So let me see if I could find that right deal. So here's what I'm looking at with the Detroit Red Wings. I give them Giftopoulos, I give them Cooper Pete, I give them baseball manager John Gibbons, who's up to a 61 overall, 21 years old. I take back this guy, Fred Menino. He is medium elite, 83 overall, 23 years old, 6'5" defensive defenseman. If I could pair him with Quinn Hughes, that would be a lot better. Even if he doesn't fit the line, he has the same potential. He's only 1 year better. But I like that he would be signed long term. He is going to be making only 2.965. If I can get them to retain the salary, I'll get a couple of prospects back. Stefan Zetterberg, who is Henrik Zetterberg's son, playing on the Red Wings here. Menino has more value, which means that he's going to grow more, while Giftopoulos is just purely downtrending, which means that he is not going to grow more. Menino, just being a good defensive defenseman and not having to change Giftopoulos from a two-way into like a makeshift defensive defenseman is a huge help. Even if he doesn't fit the line, he'll still fit better with Quinn Hughes. 5-star physical, 4-star defense, 4-star shooting, defensive defenseman. I would like to get him. In the past with Detroit, he has scored 20 points plus 32 last season. So I'm ready to pull the trigger on this. I give them 2 good prospect pieces that they want. They give me a better defenseman than Giftopoulos. They retain salary. They give me 2 prospects to fill in the minors. What do you say? Sweet proposal on our end. Thank you very much, Detroit. Could have squeezed out a 3rd-round pick or something, but I'm happy with that deal. Don't want to swindle them too much. So let's fix that up and see what we look like now. You're kidding me. A 0? You're kidding me. Oh boy, why don't these guys fit the lines? Why does no one fit the lines except for these 2 guys? Quinn Hughes, where would he fit? On the first pair? Even then, we only give it 1 check mark and 1 X. Menino, where does he fit? He fits on the first pair, right? And it would still only give it a check mark and an X. What is with these defensemen and their cycle shoot bias and all this stuff? What garbage. So I gotta go sign an associate coach. I gotta figure out some things. Oh man, this broken system. I offer a contract to this guy, Brady Bannister. He has 64% team fit. He loves Hughes. He loves Menino. Maybe that does something if my associate coach loves them. I don't know. Staff chemistry is at 99%. That's great. I need an AHL goalie coach as well who's good at teaching. Oh boy, why is it so difficult? Alright, we'll see if they sign on and if that changes anything. Bannister's on board. Does that change anything? I got an associate goalie coach for the AHL as well. Does that change anything because the associate coach loves them so much? It does not. You know what? I'm not going to break my head. Menino has good potential. He's a defensive defenseman. He's making 2.9, like 3 million for the next 5 years. He's going to keep growing and be a great defenseman. Whatever. I don't care what the system says. I'm going to play him with Quinn Hughes. I'm going to hope that it goes well. Ty Smith was also an 83. This guy's a bit cheaper. Giftopoulos didn't work out. Goodbye. Leave. I'm going to be confident in the decisions that I've made. If you have any suggestions, please let me know. But right now, this is what I'm going to do. Junior and Alberts can stay on the bottom pair. Menino is going to play on this second pair. He has a lot of trade value, and he's has a lot of growth, a lot of room to grow. Whatever. Eli Tolvanen, I was very close to trading him. It turned out I didn't have to. I don't know why Lee Sweeney has almost no trade value for an 84 overall medium elite Stanley Cup winning goaltender, but whatever. I'll keep him as my starter for the next couple seasons, hopefully. I do have some good goalies in the system with McClellan as well as Bentley, who's 79 overall already as a 21-year-old. So maybe Saul Bentley will become my starter. He was my second round pick in 2026. So then in the NHL, we're going to keep it like that. Tolvanen, Silver, Pelech, Pittis, Wong, Rantanen, Genze, Perfetti, Anthony, Kozevnikov, Paling, and Vieilleux. If you have any suggestions, please let me know. If not, we're going to continue like that with Redden and Wood as the depth. Special teams will look like this, like usual, with the +5 and the +1. I could put Junior and make it a +3 here, but I want Damian Anthony to get some extra ice time on the penalty kill. We get 0 and a +1 by playing all of these players here. Kozevnikov, although he's only 80 overall, has an 87 shot blocking and 92 stick checking, with the 86 defensive awareness, so hopefully that will help. Menino and Hughes, Lindback and Anderson there, all that good stuff. So I think we are set to go for this season. We're going to simulate through the preseason, see how we look, and then from there we will finish it off. We will browse through the trade blocks, and then I'll have to get suggestions from all of you to see what we will be doing moving into the regular season. Scouts are sent out. Let's get through this preseason. And it starts off with a 5-4 victory. Don't want to do that trade with the Penguins. Usually we go, in the last few years, we've gone like 6-1-0, 5-2-0 in the preseason. It looks like that will be around the same case again as we continue to get some wins. Only one overtime loss to the Kings, 7-3 win there. And last one up against the Vegas Golden Knights. We will win 4-3 in a shootout. So we go 6-0-1 in the preseason. Let's see how everybody's shaped up. Duke Silver and Ellis Anderson with 10 points apiece through 7 games. Eli Tolvanen 8 and 7. Perfetti, Hughes, and Wong all a point per game. Pelech, Pittis, Lindback all with 5. Rantanen, Genze, Anthony 4. Menino with a couple. Everyone else mostly with 1 except for Kozevnikov, who was a -2 with 0 points. That's a bit frightening. Lee Sweeney, how did he do? He is going to get his first taste as an NHL starter this season. I hope he runs with it. If not, I will not be afraid to have to get a better goalie and make him my backup. He went 5-0-1. Numbers weren't great at an .878 save percentage, 2.89 goals against. McClellan didn't look great either, making 22 saves on the only game that he appeared in on 25 shots. So we'll see what happens with that. Finishing off the episode now, we will take a look at all of our created players going into year number 11. Where do they find themselves? Especially Derek Mongo, who was a free agent this offseason after leaving the Carolina Hurricanes. So we'll look at all 28-year-old franchise players. That should be all the boys right here. Here we go, sorting by overall. So Keenan Johnson still on the Canadiens at 96. A lot of 96s, Cherry, Silver. Everyone still looks to be in the same place. Derek Mongo to the Edmonton Oilers. Wow. Edmonton just got a huge piece. They finished last in the NHL last year. Now they have a new 95 overall first-line center. That is huge for the Edmonton Oilers. And everybody else stays on the same team. Contract-wise, Massimiliano Bio and Duke Silver in the last year of their deals. Although, okay, so Massimiliano Bio has an 8-year, $13.785 million extension in the works. The most expensive contract right now is Alessandro Girante. Wow, 7 years, $15.390. Huge, huge money. Going to look at the goalies. Sandro Tommy on his second season here in Minnesota. Eddie Fontaine still on the Islanders, both on solid contracts. So heading into next season, I need to hear your thoughts on the possible trades that we could make, any contracts, who should we be looking to move right away or maybe closer to the deadline. Here are the trade blocks of all the teams in the NHL. If there's anything of interest, go ahead and pause the video. Grunstrom is 84 overall in the last year of his deal. Tony DeAngelo, Jake Chikrin, now he's on their trade block, so that could be a different story. Now that he is on the trade block, maybe I could get him. Does he fit? Does it tell me anything about his line fit? Not even. I'd have to go and scout him. Do I have a scout in that region? No, I only have one NHL scout. I'd have to put him in that region. If you think I should scout Jake Chikrin and maybe consider picking him up, let me know in the comments and I will assign a scout to him. Thomas Hertl, last year of his deal. Liljegren, 3 years left at an 87. A bit too off. I don't know. He wouldn't really fit with Hughes, I don't know. Texier, Elinen, both two-way forwards. Some prospects and picks like always. Morgan Riley in the last year of his deal, down to an 84. Sergachev at an 88. The Kings, man, just a terrible, terrible hockey team. Brodin, Morrissey, Seth Jones, all in the last year. Seth Jones on the last year of his deal. I'm not sure if the rest of them were. More prospects. Michael Rasmussen. Patrick Kane, that could be a good pickup at the trade deadline. Patrick Kane. Even Tom Wilson, he could be a great fourth liner. I don't know if he'd want to as an 83 overall, but it wouldn't be a bad pickup. But Patrick Kane for sure I'd like to look at the trade deadline. He would fit nicely on the third line or something, but then Genze would lose a spot. I don't know. That's a possibility as well. Continuing on, Nela Jokovic, Danton Heinen, Gabriel Landeskog, Ethan Bear, Bowen Byram, 86 overall, only making 6.3 for the next 2 years. Doesn't tell me much about him, I don't think. No, it doesn't tell me much about him. Christian Fischer, 1 year left at 7.950, 89 overall. He's made quite the career for himself. Robertson and Greenway. So those are all the trade blocks around the NHL. Man, we have a lot of thinking to do heading into this season. The window is still open a little bit. I thought Eli Tolvanen's trade was an imminent guarantee, but with Lee Sweeney taking such a low contract, it's very different. Here's all the trade values look of anyone who we could trade, of all the prospects we have as well. Sutter is a good prospect. This guy Niinema has a lot of potential. Pettersson has a lot of potential. So here's how we're looking. In the draft pick situation, we have a first, a second, 3 thirds, a fifth, and a sixth, and a seventh this season. Next year, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, all that good stuff. Rookie skaters look like this, of just people who have potential, who we could move in a potential deal. And in the goalie situation, we are led by Lee Sweeney. Maybe he's not our future starter, though. Maybe McLennan or Bentley is our future starter. Maybe Sweeney is just a placeholder for a couple seasons. Or do we move him and try to get a real starter for 1 or 2 years? That is another possibility. So quite a long episode today. It was a roller coaster of what are we going to do, and a lot of things that changed along the way. Maybe even it's a coaching thing. Even though our coach has been so good, does it really matter? There's no morale really associated with it. Staff chemistry is super high. It's amazing. But I don't know. He has a 71% team fit. Do I try to find someone who likes Hughes and Menino more? Or do I just stick with him because he's been so good? I'm more inclined to stick with him, to be honest. Coach in the minors doesn't fit super well. Should get a better coach for the AHL. I will do that later on. But that's what I'm thinking, boys. I need your help, and it was quite the long offseason. We're heading into year number 11 with Honolulu. We are reigning Stanley Cup champions. We have, it looks like the window kind of closed in some ways, but stayed open in another way, as we still have the monstrous top 6 that we do. But Eli Tolvanen will eventually have to move, and I'm scared because no one really fits that top line like Eli Tolvanen. I don't know, maybe if I changed Rantanen into a playmaker he would, but that's why I'm kind of thinking about a coaching change long term, just because of the line fits. That's why I hate the coaching aspect. I like the coach, but because nobody fits, all these good players who I want, I have to choose. Do I keep my coach or do I keep my players? I can't call my coach in to my office and tell him to change. Hey, Damian Palmieri, you know on your second defense pair how you have hold line pinch and cycle shoot biases? Can you change the bias from cycle to shoot? Sure thing, coach. Nope, he's somehow unreachable, coaching in another continent, and I can't reach him in any way. And when we go to the games, he doesn't want to speak to me, and I don't know what I can do. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. Please leave me your suggestions. I won't upload tomorrow because I'll be waiting to hear from everyone in the comments. So tomorrow will be an upload of SpongeBob and or FIFA, continuing those 2 series. If you're new to the channel, daily uploads is a common thing here, so be sure to hit the subscribe button to be made aware of all of those uploads. Thank you so much for watching. Leave me your thoughts, and I will see you in the next one, where we continue our reign as Stanley Cup champions moving into year number 11.